Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. Just a small town girl living in a ready world. She got the Robin Hood app and bought AMC. Just a shitty boy tried to get in on the shore. He got on the money train going to Wall Street. Don't stop, GameStop. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Did we plan that? No, we didn't plan that. We didn't think that song was going to go that way. Bars on the top of the dome. Bars, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monday. We get after it on a Monday, okay? Getting after it on a Monday, day after Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, how you living? Your boy's good. Your boy's fired up right now. Fired up. Obviously, as you can see from that intro, a lot of stuff going on in the world. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of crazy stuff with the stock market. It could be the end of our civilization if you're, what is his name, Hackman? The guy who was saying that hell is on its way. Dude, I love seeing these Wall Street elites just getting bent over with the power of the internet. Listen, the future is now, old man. Okay? Gen Z or whatever you guys are on TikTok. When I hit the age where you guys are pushing me out, I will age gracefully. I will never try to make money off of you, okay? So I celebrate the youth, okay? Not in a creepy way. Not in a Michael Jackson way. Bars. Beat it. Doesn't make sense. But a lot of crazy things happening in our world overall. And this might be the greatest thing, I think. That if there's anything coming out of this pandemic and all the stuff that we've fucking dealt with from 2020 and now 2021. It's been a hell of a ride. I think we all have to add 7 years to our birthday in 2021, you know? Like, because that's how much we've aged, okay, over this past year. It was a fucking double opposite leap year, okay? You know? It was a fucking reap year because the Reaper gave us a fucking 6-piece combo with our age. We just been through it, is what I'm trying to say, all right? For too long, we were coasting through life. Things were going a little too good, and then around the corner, hey, I'm life, and I'm about to hit you in the dick. And that's what happened. 2020, 2021, we just got a little cocky, put our hands down, took one on the chin, but we're back, baby. We're back, and I love seeing this. What's happening in Wall Street right now, these hedge funds just getting destroyed by the masses. Listen, Apes Strong Together, okay? Planet of the Apes, my favorite movie. Anybody posts a meme using the Apes Strong Together meme, I'm going to support your movement just because I love the movie series, you know? Your boy getting on the AMC action? Well, nah, maybe. A little too late for GameStop. But you know what? I don't get listen, I understand what's happening and they were trying to short GameStop, but we're still in billions from hedge funds and fueling it to a company that stole billions from us as kids, okay? GameStop, if you want my support, you got to send me back my fucking $3 that you gave me for my Pokemon Red Game Boy Edition, all right? Disrespectful. You ever been in GameStop when you were a kid trying to buy a new game, even the used version of a game, which is, you know what's complete bullshit about used games? They play just as well as new games. As long as you're not scratched up, there is zero difference. You go into GameStop as a kid with your fucking Spider-Man game, Cool Borders 2, what was that other one? Twisted Metal. Oh, get me with that clown? Fire clown face on a truck? What? Throwback. You got to bring in like 5 hit PlayStation CDs to get one bullshit CD. Okay? I remember going in there and just losing my whole catalog just to get that new. You know? And it's disrespectful. I'd always look at the GameStop and they go, let's see. Okay, you paid $49.99 for this game. Let me see. They cross that. Minus the 2, carry the 3, add 5% for inflation. Okay, deterioration. Okay, and it looks like we'll be paying you $377 for this game that you paid $50 for, and we're going to resell it for $39.99. Well, chips are in our corner. You want the game or not? Like, there's a reason why GameStop was doing terrible. Let's not pretend that GameStop was this saint, okay? Maybe you guys have bi-dementia bars, okay? But GameStop never had our best interests at heart. And I understand the movement, but GameStop should not be profiting from this, okay? GameStop, I'm still coming for you. I feel like Blockbuster deserved this way more, right? Yeah, go say Blockbuster. Blockbuster gave me some of the greatest memories as a kid. Listen, I used to live in the Yellow Valley. Shout out to the hometown. I will rep you till I fucking die. I love you, 661. Besides the point. Just a desert rat at the end of the day. I'm proud of it. I see a Joshua tree somewhere. I shed a tear. One silent thug tear comes down my face. But listen, besides the point. I lived in the Yellow Valley. There was a Blockbuster in the same shopping center as a Vince's Pasta and Pizza. Fate. On a Friday night, my dad fuck around, be like, we're getting a pizza and a movie. Yippee! Have a white moment with a Puerto Rican dad, you know what I'm saying? My dad was known as Pops growing up. You never called him dad or father. If I would have called him father, he'd be like, okay, sport, you have some Folgers? Besides the point. He'd take me to Vallarta and rinse my mouth out if I ever called him father. But we would go to Vince's. We'd get that nice pizza combo. Listen, we had 5 mouths to feed growing up. 4 of us, and we picked up one on the way. So there was 5. We get that nice, like a 2 large pizza combo with the garlic bread, the salad that I would just drench in ranch. This is before I knew what fat and sugar and calories were. Life was great before you ever knew what calories are. So when I have kids, I'm just not even going to tell them what calories are until they learn about it in a book, you know? I just want them to have that innocence. We get that nice pizza meal. Vince's, best ranch in the game. Listen, if you've never been to Vince's Pasta and Pizza, best ranch in the game. I would dip my garlic bread in a cup of ranch. Listen, they give you a solid like 16 ounces of ranch. I fucking loved it in a styrofoam cup. I dip my garlic bread in that ranch like it was a goddamn sponge and I was about to take down the dishes, you know? Oh, your boy was hefty as a little kid, okay? Hefty. Made some, inaccurate nutritional decisions as a child, all right? Besides the point of the story. The story is, boom, then we'd go to Vincent or we'd go to Blockbuster after. You walk through Blockbuster, the greatest experience ever. You're not thinking about some bullshit. Oh, I got this math test. Oh, I got this. Oh, that bully is waiting for me. Blah, 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 blah. You're just thinking, is the VHS I want in stock? That's all I was worried about. That's all I was worried about. Okay, you walk up to the movie thing, you know how they would have the box, and then behind it, if it had an empty plastic one, it meant that they had it in stock. I'd grab that plastic one, I'd run to the front. Even if they didn't have some, I'd be like, yo, check the returns. Check the return bin. You know, people walk up and they drop it through. Be like, hey, homie, hook a brother up. Check the return bin. 1 out of every 4 times, the movie was actually just returned. And I'd watch people, I'd be like, hey, I'm ahead of you. I'm getting that returned one. You ain't stopping me from watching The Mummy Returns right now, okay? In hindsight, they probably should have stopped me from watching The Mummy Returns. But shout out to Brendan Fraser. You heartthrob that turned into a goddamn moldy piece of salami. What the fuck happened, Brendan Fraser? Where did you go, okay? Where did you go? Got all ripped up for George of the Jungle? Then you just fell out of the fucking treehouse. We never saw you again. But I love you still. I love you. If you haven't seen Brendan Fraser in, what is that show? DC Marvel. I'm going to have to pull this up for you guys. Because if you guys are looking for a new show and you haven't seen this, This show is phenomenal. Ooh, Doom Patrol. That's what it's called. If you haven't seen Doom Patrol, I suggest you go check it out. Add that to your list. Listen, your boy has been getting into some great shows lately. Current one I'm binge watching, Yellowstone. If you haven't seen Yellowstone, if you liked Sons of Anarchy, drop everything you're doing, even if it's a baby, and go watch Yellowstone. You won't regret it. It's a great show. Great drama. Kevin Costner. It doesn't get much better. Dances with Wolves. Waterworld. I almost said Waterman. First I almost said Aquaworld and then almost said Waterman. Like, what the fuck? Waterworld. The Postman, which got terrible reviews. Listen, this is why I never look at Rotten Tomato reviews before I see a movie. Because I think it's just edgy to give something a bad review. Like you don't want to give this a good review. Like, ooh, I want to stand out from the crowd. And I'm going to pretend like I'm just so much more distinguished. Fucking Casablanca was the greatest movie of all time. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The Birds is the greatest horror movie of all time. Shut the fuck up. Listen, any D-rated zombie horror movie is better than the best old horror movie. Listen, okay, I need to go back on what I'm saying. In perspective of if they could hold up side by side now, okay? I understand those were amazing films. The Night of the Living Dead, hard watch. It's a hard watch. The Night of the Living Dead, I put out a music video back in the day, and I did a Night of the Living Dead style music video. So I went and did research and watched the actual Night of the Living Dead movie, the original. I think it was like 1977 or something like that. Let's see when that came out. 1968, close. There are so many shots in it that are reused. Zombies eating things, and you're like, oh yeah, they're just pulling through weird cow intestines. They would keep reusing the same shots. But I just watched a movie yesterday morning. On Sundays, Sunday fun day, baby. I watch a movie in bed. I religiously make sure my Sundays are just pure relaxation. Coffee in bed, and I watch a movie. Yesterday, I watched Dazed and Confused. Movies were just shot so different. Longer frames, everything like that. Now, everything's cut frames. Every trailer is just like... I do love this trend. It's sad. It makes my willy tingle. Ladies and gentlemen, end of the day, it makes my willy tingle. Whenever a trailer, an action trailer, it uses the gunfire synced up with the drums. So it's like, and then it's like, beat stops, and it's like, Karen, get down! And then like the chopper whirring with the beat, with the hi-hats. That's just the way my mind works, ladies and gentlemen. I'm no better than anybody else, okay? People want to make fun of kids on TikTok. There's some funny shit on TikTok. I'll give it to you. I don't know how we got down this rabbit hole. But yeah, Yellowstone. Phenomenal. Postman. The Postman was a great movie by Kevin Costner. Got like 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's why you can't trust Rotten Tomatoes sometimes. Unless it's got like a 99%, you know? But then there's those fuck nuggets who just go rate Rotten Tomatoes just to fit in on some things. Like, what are the greatest movies of all time? Where can I see this on Rotten Tomatoes? Movies. Top movies. Where can I see the all-time? Best movies of all time. Oh, Black Panther's number one of the best movies of all time. Great. I think that's a great film. I'm sure that's a little bit of virtue signaling, but it's great. Parasite, phenomenal. Endgame. I'm surprised Endgame made it onto the top 3 of all time, just because superhero movies get hated on so much. Knives Out got number 4. I still haven't seen Knives Out. Top 5, Us. Us is a phenomenal movie. And Us is an example of a movie where one vision gets put out completely in the movie. When you got one perspective. That's what fucks up a lot of movies. This is why I was talking to a buddy about this last night, about the streaming platform and how it's going to kill movie theaters, but in the end it's going to make storytelling better. And we got in this discussion because we were talking about WandaVision, which is a new Marvel show. I think they're about to come out with episode 5 on HBO Max. Shout out to HBO Max. There's a plug for you. I know you need it. But they're able to tell these stories, and why I think that things like The Mandalorian, WandaVision are doing great is because these are kind of popcorn movies, superhero genre, sci-fi action that don't get the drama bump. We don't get enough time in Endgame or in any of these superhero movies in an hour-and-a-half format to really do character development in them. You know, it's kind of like you just have that formula, and it worked a long time for movie studios, but the level of storytelling has gotten so fucking good with TV series. You can really paint a picture and really take your time to let it slow burn over time, you know, which I think is great. I think it's great. And you get less pressure on this compacted, like you don't have to trim all the fat out of it. Because what's the best part of a steak, baby? It is the fat. You want to get a ribeye. You want that fat, marbleized fat on it. That's where all the flavor is, baby. You know? So when you trim all the fat out of these movies and make them condense into an hour and a half, okay, we need to have this in it. Okay, we need to have this. Okay, we have the superhero. Okay, now we need the conflict. Okay, who's the anti-hero? Okay, now we need to build an investment. Okay, so now why is the superhero doing this? All right, now we have our why. All right, now we need to have the superhero lose in the first 30 minutes of the movie. So we spend the next 45 minutes building the superhero back up and getting all the people invested emotionally in his comeback. And then we have resolution in the end. That's literally the format they've done throughout time. Every single movie can be broken down into that format where you have guy meets girl, guy, you know, messes up, or that's like the Tell as Old as Time, all those like This Is 40, all of these, The Breakup, all these movies. The Breakup is actually a really funny movie. Shout out to Vince Vaughn. But it's like they just follow that same format all the time because it's safe, because you have too many executives giving notes on shit they have no business giving notes on. This is why I think the internet is great, because you get all the people who shouldn't put their fucking hand in the pot, putting their hand in the pot with Hollywood executives and everything like that. Agents that need to justify their job. Everybody wants to have a note. Everybody wants to cut this out. We want to cut this out. No, we should change this to that, rather than story is king, which should always be the main focus. And I think a movie like Us, when you have someone at the helm like Jordan Peele, who is able to write a story completely, and it comes across as so unique, original, and refreshing to the genre. You know, also Get Out, how phenomenal is that? A Quiet Place, John Krasinski, I believe he wrote that film, right? But it's like when you get one person writing something, directing it, and putting it out, you get something completely original rather than throwing it through a system that needs to hit all these points. I don't know if I'm making sense. That took a long time to say that shit. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But this is interesting. And I think with TV shows, they're taking the pressure off of needing to wrap things up so tightly. There's always leaving more for the story, you know, slow build up, more investment over time. You get to tell a bigger story. You need to go in depth on these characters. And I think specifically with superhero characters, you get to explore them more in a way never before. So it's so refreshing. We're so more intrigued by that because now we're putting like human emotions on superheroes, which is something that you haven't really gotten in these movies. They try to cram it in, but we don't get to see that other side. So it's like a whole new frontier to develop superhero movies like dramas, you know? I just think it's interesting. That's all. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. Lady Bird was good. That's number 7. Toy Story 4. I'm sorry, I didn't see Toy Story 3 or 4. I know I should. Casablanca, number 16. Oh, and Citizen Kane. Listen, Citizen Kane, amazing. Just for what it is. I think it's Citizen Kane. That's the first one of all time, right? Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just getting lost in my own fucking rabbit holes. One thing I did want to talk about is these hedge funds things, going back to this whole GameStop and AMC thing. I don't know if I really dove into enough, but it's amazing to see the power of people banding together and exposing something that's been so blatantly corrupt. And the way that like the Robinhood app and people have reacted to this shows that this game has been rigged so hard against everyday traders and everyday people by these hedge funds and these billionaires. Your boy is not a professional financial advisor or a stock trader. I got some crypto. Your boy's in that crypto, but that's I'm a hobbyist. I'm not one of these people that got into it and was just like, oh, now I know everything about it and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be a millionaire. But there's something so great about seeing these people be exposed, because this really could change the format of our country in a good way. Listen, I always have believed I don't really believe, in the shocker, I don't believe that people, I don't judge people by their skin. I don't judge people by the decisions they make because of situations they're in. Whether it was by just a bad hand that was dealt to them, or poverty because of generational wealth, or the opposite of wealth. But this is why I don't really like, some people start the finish line or start so close to the finish line where they got trust funds or things like that. They didn't earn anything they have. I don't really respect that. I don't really give a shit about that. You got all this stuff. Yeah, but where'd you start? I think there's a lot of people that start so far back from the finish line that you don't understand why they could ever get into crime or anything. Well, why don't you just go to college? And why don't you do this? Oh, why did you do that? It's like you can't grasp how hard their life is just to get the basics. A lot of people, man, you look at their situations and you're like, you got such a shit draw. And what I'm trying to say is that poverty and stuff that you have no control over really can affect the kind of person that you become. And I know there's a lot of 1%ers and a lot of people that start in those situations, whether you live in a neighborhood full of crime, whether, everybody in your family, mom did crack, whatever it is, dad did this, dad wasn't there, dad was, whatever it is. A lot of people are forced into a life of crime because it's so hard to get out of that. And I think poverty and opportunity is such a big contribution to that, Your boy's grammar's off all morning. I just feel like I'm using all the wrong words. But it's Monday, coming in hot, ladies and gentlemen. But what I'm trying to say is these established hedge funds, billions upon billions and billions and billions of money, that they have and that they are making. It's not like they're just making this because they made a great product that people love and they're buying. They're doing it at the expense of people who can't, who literally everything is just leveraged against them. Like the way these hedge funds, they can do the trading after hours and everything and completely manipulate the prices and drive prices up. They can short this, which shorting the stock market is such a dirty thing because it doesn't help the economy at all. It doesn't help a business, with their shares being valued so high. It literally is just a gamble, a bet that a company is going to do terrible. And when they do these things like the short and then the company goes down, all they do is they're making profit off of a company's demise. And when they start doing that, this whole game is fucked up, because when this starts happening, like, what was his name? Rick Hackman? I don't know if it was Hackman. Hackman. I think it's Hackman. I want to say his name so you can check this out. Bill Ackman. He's a hack, man. Bars. But, for example, something that happened during this pandemic, he said hotels are done. The Marriott is done. All these different places are done. He's a billionaire hedge fund manager. And while he was going out and saying this publicly, not only short the stock, but he bought tons of money, or he bought tons of the shares once the stock completely went down. So all he did was he put out this long rant about the end is near and blah, blah, blah. Hotels are done forever. He scared everybody into selling their stock before it completely collapsed. And then he shorted the stock and he bought it all at a smaller price. And naturally the price went back up. So he made billions on this trade just by manipulating the market, because he tried to scare everybody into selling. It was like, it's like, dude, you shouldn't go over there. Like, you know, there's a place that's selling pizza and there's going to be a pizza party, but you're going to get there a little late and you're worried that everybody's going to eat the pizza. Be like, dude, don't go over there. The pizza is terrible. And people are like, all right, well, we'll go to Taco Bell, which is going to give you diarrhea. But then you go over there an hour later and this motherfucker is eating all the pizza. It's exactly what it is. You're like, you're a piece of shit. But this is being done at the expense of everyday people. And the big point that I'm making is these hedge funds are terrible. And I'm so happy they're being exposed. And I'll be honest, I'm not one of these people who like, yeah, hedge funds have been terrible for blah, blah, blah. I haven't known the level of corruption, okay, that has been here. And I always looked at the stock market as more stable, you know, as great opportunity. But it's like you're only making peanuts compared to how much these hedge funds are making off of the people, okay? And I found this out today, that the Robinhood app actually, not only is it not for the people, it's so fucking, it's a sheep, or it's a wolf in sheep's clothing completely. It's called the Robinhood app, which Robinhood is based off of taking from the rich and giving to the poor. It's the complete opposite. They come out with this like, and this is what I hate, is when you see these fake ass companies pretending to back these movements. They came out with like a Black Lives Matter movement and, oh, we're going to help, you know, the people in poverty and all this stuff. But at the same time, all Robinhood app is a company that sells all its data to hedge funds, meaning that they can get all that data and then manipulate the stocks more in their favor. Sorry, just had a stroke. I just get fired up. So it's just complete bullshit. All right, we're getting way too serious over this, huh? But I want to wrap this up, because you're like, Evan, how does this tie into inequality and poverty and crime and everything? This is a start of balancing out wealth and opportunity, because I'm not a socialist. I don't think, I think there should be, I'm all for capitalism and I'm all for the free market. This isn't a fucking free market when you have hedge funds, them finally getting their ass handed to them in a free market exchange. And instead of taking the licks and being like, well, now we have to figure out something else, they froze the fucking game. It's like the little fuck nugget who you have at your party and you're beating him in Mario Kart for the first time. And instead of taking his loss, he unplugs the N64. That's literally exactly what happened. And it's like, I'm not playing anymore until this isn't fair. We need to figure this out. You hit me with too many red fucking turtle shells. You're like, the game is set up for me to get as many turtle shells, okay? It's not my fault. I just played the game. The game that you've been getting all the red turtle shells at for too long. Great analogy, Evan. Great analogy. Definitely coming off very professional. But it's nice. And like I'm saying, like this kind of stuff is great. I'm not a socialist, but I do think when there is so much wealth being withheld and the barrier to entry, and people, I don't like people who manipulate other people. I don't like people who, this is why I'm against pyramid schemes and all of that stuff, because they literally just manipulate people into thinking they're going to get wealth when it's really just benefiting them more. These companies are insidious. And I think that it is so important that people start getting money. People start having opportunity. I wish in some healthy way it was able to balance out more, where more people didn't have to live in poverty. Obviously, every fucking person on this planet does. But these hedge funds are literally designed to keep people down, make money at the expense of everyday people. They're not making a product that everyday people buy. It's making billionaires more billionaire-ish, and I think if we have more opportunities with people making money and getting themselves in positions, we have less crime, we have less poverty. The more successful people we have, the better it is for everybody. The less assholes we have driving around frustrated at life because they have too many bills piling up. And I think that obviously this isn't a fix-all. This isn't like a thing like, oh, if everybody just got money. Obviously, there's self-accountability, self-responsibility, how you spend that money. But I just hope this is a wake-up call and people start looking at, life as, I need to get myself in a position where I'm not getting fucked by the system anymore. Stop playing the fucking game. The whole game is set up to try to keep you in this 40-hour-a-week bullshit where it's like, you got to go do this and you got to do this because, you care about your family, right? You're a hardworking man. You need to get this mortgage and, you need to get this car. And don't you want to have 2.5 children and blah, 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 blah. It's all set up just to keep the machine going. When the fuck did I sound like a goddamn conspiracist like this, But it's so true, man. They want you to keep playing the game and it only benefits them. Politicians want you to keep playing the game and it only benefits them. It really comes down to ape together strong, ladies and gentlemen. Ape together strong. Ape together strong. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's what it all is I didn't get in on the GameStop thing. I have friends did, and very happy for everyone. Listen, there is nothing like seeing people get life-changing situations, Again, I'm using weird grammar. My words are just off a little bit today. But there's nothing like seeing people get life-changing opportunities and making the most of it because it's inspiring. And I think that's one thing that, you have to realize. I've seen this with people in the student loan debt debate. Some people who have been making payments on their student loans, myself included, you see these things about, possibly forgiving student loan debt and blah, blah, blah. And some people don't want it to go away because they're like, I've had to pay $15,000. Why is it's not fair to me that I paid that and now they just get it for free? Think bigger than yourself and your own circumstance, okay? Because that's one person. But if you think about the relief that would give to our whole economy and help the everyday person, it would help so much if we did stuff like that. It's these big moves like that where you see a possibility of forgiving student loan debt. You see these hedge funds being attacked. The fact that they lost billions. It's crazy. And I think it's going to be a power shift. I think it's great for our economy, and I think it's great for the everyday person, at least to be inspired by. And I think that's the big takeaway that I've had with this, is that you can be inspired by the fact that this can be done. The game isn't completely rigged. I mean, unless this Robin Hood shit, we got to see how this plays out. But there is opportunity. And if people band together, Apes Strong Together, you can actually change the world and have a real effect. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you on that note. This was a good podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I enjoyed it, okay? Got some good feelings going. Listen, I don't want to break this prematurely, because if something happens, but Friday, Your boy sealed the deal on a house. Going to Texas, y'all. One caveat. We bought a new construction home. It's not going to be built for 8 months. So in the meantime, I'm going to be here probably a couple more months maybe. And then I'm going to end up renting a place near Austin until the home is built. But I got to be honest with you guys. It's something that I never humble brag on social media. At least I try not to. Obviously, I have a very cool dog, so it's hard to not brag about that. But the feeling of, I easily could be one of those people that when I get the house, I put a corny picture showing it and being like, I did this, blah, 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 blah. But it's so vindicating. I don't know if that's the right word I'm looking for. But it's so vindicating of getting to this point in my life, because, and this is why I tell people, do your own thing, figure out a way. And I'm really only the product of hearing that from other people, being inspired by other people who did do their own thing. Because I'm sure a lot of you know, your boy had a nursing degree. And instead of using that when I was, when did I graduate? I think I graduated nursing school at like 23 or something like that. Instead of using that, I was like, no, I'm going to be a musician and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So I worked construction for years, did shitty jobs, all while seeing my friends that graduated with me get great jobs, get great cars. Your boy rocking that Toyota Corolla, And for years, having all these relapses into, I wouldn't say poverty, but just not being financially good, credit card debt and all this stuff, while still just working towards this thing. I'm just trying to get out of this system, trying to make it my own way, trying to have my own business. I'm trying to do it my way. I don't want to get caught in this system. And when you do that for years and years and years without having any fucking results, it's fucking disheartening. It's depressing. You feel like a loser. You feel stupid. You keep feeling like, fuck, I'm so far down this road and I have nothing really to show for it. But then something crazy happens at one point. At one point, things just start paying off. The dedication, the investment, the sacrifice. And listen, I'm a far away from the tippity top of where I'm going, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Far away. Apes Strong Together. But it feels so good to get to a point where it's like, oh shit, this is actually happening. I'm actually going to be able to have a house that I call my own. And I did it my own way, But it was just a cool moment that I had the other night. And just happy, ladies and gentlemen. Just happy. There'll be bad days ahead. It's not going to be all, giggles and sunshines and farting in bathtubs and shit. I don't even know what that means. But I just want to tell you guys, keep doing your thing. Keep getting after it. And no matter what, at the end of the day, except for you hedge fund manager fuck faces, I still love you.